Hi, I said we'd visit this a little more in the next lesson. We're going to talk a little, we've talked about the musical alphabet and the chromatic scale, and now let's switch the focus a little bit to the guitar mechanics side of it. You can see that it could be problematic to name a note by always having to start down here and go B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp. Oh, that note says sharp. So there are some handy things in terms of the mechanical side of the fretboard to short-circuit that process so you don't have to. For instance, we talked about an octave. So there's an octave on every string at the 12th fret. So if you memorize the notes of the open strings, are every bad guitarist digs Albert Einstein type thing, then we know the names of the notes here. So if I said, what's this note? I'm not going to take the B string and come way down here and go B, C, C sharp, D, etc. all the way up. I'm going to say, hey, this is really close to this. I know this is B, B, B flat, A. So notes in this section of the guitar, it's much easier to come from this note down to them to find the name of the pitch than it is to go all the way through. The same thing happens for the names of the notes down in this section. You're very close to the beginning. Okay? Now, another thing that most guitarists learn, a lot of people who've taken up the guitar recently have learned to tune through the use of a handy-dandy tuner, and I really recommend those. But sometimes your battery runs out, or your something happens and you can't do it. For those of you who are a little older, you learned to play the guitar when there wasn't a tuner. And you were taught that if you play the note on the 5th string, you produce the same pitch, or 6th string, 5th fret, excuse me, you would produce the same pitch as the 5th string open. Now, we should be able to verify that. Let's try this. Let's use our musical alphabet, come up from this open E. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So there's A and there's A unison. So we're trying to use terminology now that we've been learning. The same thing happens on the next set of strings. Okay, the exception, and the guitar is tuned a little crazily this way, is it's not tuned that way all the way across. When we get to the 2nd string, I'm sorry, we have it, the B note on the 2nd string. Let's verify that. This is an open G, every bad guitarist. G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Same unison pitch. Okay. Most guitarists, what happens is they learn the names of the notes in the 5th fret pretty quickly because of this tuning exercise. They know that the 6th string at the 5th fret is A, that the 5th string at the 5th fret is D, etc., all the way down. So a lot of times when you're in this section of the guitar, in the middle, you can use your knowledge here that you know what this is. So let's pick a note at random. This note, I don't know what that note is right offhand. I'm trying not to think about it. But I could come from up here, or I could go, okay, I know that's G, so that's G sharp, A sharp, or B flat. Sure enough, that's B flat. Okay. So those are some of the ways that you can short-circuit the process of finding out the name of the note. Now, I would encourage you to practice your chromatic scale slowly on each string, going up and down, and naming the notes for a while until you get more and more comfortable. The little homemade chart that I had, you could see it. I would also encourage you to write that out a few times. There's something that happens in the mind when you actually write things down. Okay, now I realize for some of you this is pretty elementary, and that's all right. Hang in there. We'll get to some more complicated stuff soon enough. but we have to kind of come back and put in the foundation before we can build a house. So we'll continue a little bit next time with a little more detailed look at our interval of a minor second or a half step.